morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to take a look at Mask of Change, and we need to ask what the most expensive, what the most valuable, phrase it how you will, cards in that set are. It's been out in Japan for a couple of days now, so that means we can take a bit of a look, and we can, well, figure out the cards that everyone is after. And I mean, look, I showed you earlier today, Dragapult is a very, very big deal right now over in Japan. I wonder if that's going to have an impact. If there was a special art rare of Dragapult, it would probably be fairly high up on this list. But there isn't. So it's not. Never mind. Coming in at number 10, we got the special art rare of the Cornerstone Mask Ogapon, coming in at 2,500 yen. Yeah, that's less than half a booster box. Booster boxes of 5,400 yen. Oh, by the way, 2,500 yen, you're looking pretty much dead on $16. This is significantly less than half of a booster box for the number 10 card on the list, which I personally think is amazing. Now, not everybody does. Some people, they want to open up boxes and get cards that are worth loads of money to try and flip and all of that. I want to build a collection. And when you're building a collection, you know what? It's way better when cards are cheap. So frankly, I like this and I'm a bit of a fan. This is nice and cheap. Coming in at number 9, we've got the Teal Mask Special Art Rare, which is also coming in at 2,500 yen, which is $16. As a side note, yes, I know they look very similar, and they are, but generally speaking, if you have a little bit of a look around, Teal Mask Ogapon generally seems to be a bit more sought after and a bit more expensive, though it is very, very close. The gold Teal Mask Ogapon does not make this list. Doesn't get on the list, just the special art rares, which I find rather interesting. In at number 8, we got the Half Flame Mask Special Art Rare, which comes in just a tiny bit higher at 2,800 yen, which is pretty much dead on $18. Still nice and cheap. And it's probably not that, I mean, look, all the cards look very similar, same artist, similar kind of design, but this one can do 280 to an evolution Pokemon for free energy, and it's a basic Pokemon. Makes it a nice tech in, for instance, Charizard decks. And generally speaking, that's what's going to put some of these cards a little bit higher. They're very similar, but it's a fire Pokemon, which means Charizard will accelerate energy to it really nicely, and it's a basic Pokemon with a decent attack. In at number 7, we got the full art of Kieran, but it's still only 3,000 yen, so you're still only talking $19 here. This is not an expensive card, even a little bit. Again, boxes are 5,400 yen. There's only 3 cards on the whole list that'll cost you more than a booster box. Frankly, you're better off just buying singles. These cards are not expensive anymore, and I think that is wonderful. Kieran is a moderately popular character. People quite like Kieran, and it's one of those ones you can either switch your active Pokemon, or you can do 30 more to EXs and Vs. Decent card, decently popular character. In at number 6, we've got the full art Carmine, which is also coming in at 3,000 yen or $19. And again, these two could absolutely flip-flop, but I think Carmine is going to be a bit more popular. When we look at the special art rares in a minute, there is a big gap between Carmine and Kieran. Therefore, even though there isn't a gap between the full arts at the moment, I think there probably will be. Carmine, for what it's worth, is a discard your hand, draw 5, which is bad, but you can use it on your first turn going first, which is good. Probably play it as a one-of, honestly. In at number 5, we've got the Wellspring Mask Ogapon Special Art Rare at 3,600 yen. This is the biggest of them. It's $23. And the reason is, at least as far as I'm concerned, fits really nicely into Batcalibur decks. You do 100 damage, and then you can return free energy to your hand. And then you do 120 to the bench as well. It's absurdly good. It's very, 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 very good. and it fits into Excalibur decks very nicely. And I don't think it is a coincidence that the ones that can fit into other decks nicely end up being the most expensive of them. I am not seeing Ogerpon decks doing well week 1 in City Leagues in Japan. I absolutely am seeing these two as potential techs in other decks, and that's why I think they're going to stay higher. Now, in at number 5, we've got Full Art Dragapult at 4,300 yen, and 4,300 yen means you're coming in at $27.50. Let's round it to $28. $27.60 technically, let's just put it up to $28. And the thing here is, this is a regular full art. This is extremely expensive for a regular full art. This is massively expensive for a regular full art. The next highest full art on this list is weirdly Teal Mask Ogerpon. After everything I said about why the others are more expensive, which is actually super annoying. But it's 880 yen. They're all very close together, to be clear. 880 yen. This is 5 times more expensive than the second highest full art. That should tell you what you need to know. Dragapult, I told you earlier today, right? Dragapult is not a good card. Dragapult is not a good deck. Dragapult is wrecking over in Japan right now. It is frankly a little bit hilarious quite how well Dragapult is doing. It's winning nearly 60% of the tournaments this weekend by itself. Dragapult is here, and that is just pushing the price of this right up. Regular Dragapult, the regular EX, is 1,600 yen. That would actually put it number 12 on this list. Regular Dragapult is 12th on this list. Significantly more expensive than any of the ace specs. And obviously, any of the illustration rares compared to regular EXs, no. Again, it's actually about 6 times the price of the second biggest. Dragapult is hyped right now, and that is pushing the price of Dragapult cards right up. Now, in at number 3, we got the gold Buddy Buddy Poffin. That's coming in at 9,500 yen, which translates to $61 exactly. Actually, as I was recording, it changed from $61 to $60.98. But I think we can, agree with that. I think this is probably fine. And my point is, this is a great card. Lets you go and get 2 of your 70 HP Pokemon. It is seeing a lot of play. It's actually seeing a lot of play in Dragapult, which is kind of interesting. Not surprising, but obviously if Dragapult is going to start taking over the format like it looks like it is, then yeah, this card is going to get more and more expensive because more and more of the good decks are going to be Dragapult, which means more and more of the good decks are going to play this as a 4-of. In at number 2, we got the Kieran Special Art Rare, and this is basically the point in the video where we start going, yeah, these cards are just beautiful. Honestly, we know that Kieran is a decently playable card, I've told you that, but it's not 9,500 yen playable. Incidentally, it is exactly the same price as Buddy Buddy Poffin. Because it's a Special Art Rare supporter, I expect it to be higher, and generally speaking, it seems to be a little bit higher for the moment, but again, we'll have to wait and see how it comes out. But I think Kieran's going to be number 2. Not number 1, not even close, but it's going to be number 2. And it's a beautiful Special Art Rare. The artwork is stunning. There's only 2 Special Art Rare supporters in the set, and they generally do tend to be the big cards in Japan. And this one is my favourite, and it's 9,500 yen. And then obviously number 1 is Carmine. Yeah, we knew that. I told you that the other day. When I showed you the secret rares, I told you Carmine was going to be number 1, and it is not even remotely close. Carmine, we're looking at 21,000 yen, so you're talking $135. There's only 3 cards that are worth more than a booster box, the 2 9,500 yeners and this. And I told you what this does, and it's a decent card, but it's not a great card. It's not a jumping in at number 1 because it's so ridiculously playable. It is just a case of, it's a Special Art Rare of a popular character, and it's beautiful artwork. And there we go. That's what you need to know. In terms of the top 10, it is being royally shaken up by Dragapult, and I love that. We don't always see a big new deck really shaking up the list like this. Makes me happy when we do. And then, of course, we've still got the 2 special up rare supporters at the top, like you might expect. But honestly, the fact that only 3 cards end up more expensive than a booster box, this makes me very happy. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these cards you're after. Tell me what you're excited about. Tell me anything you want to tell me in the comment section. Good us! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. And get shout outs on the channel like the lovely Eric Ridgway, who's been a supporter of ours for a long time now and is a very lovely person. So shout out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.